Number 10 on my list is the Great Fairy's distinct and horrifying laugh as she emerges from her fountain in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget that shriek as a Zelda player, because of how recognizable and profound it is. I don't want to linger on this too long though, because she's a bit scary to look at, so there she is first on my list. Salvador from the Wind Waker is in charge of a minigame shop that sarcastically and begrudgingly puts on a fake personality for Link. This is presumably because he has to, since the man clearly does not like his job. The player can feel the forcefulness of his laugh, and anyone who's worked at a job like this can relate, in having to execute a certain amount of fakeness for the customer. Next up is the Poe from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They have a distinct sound that differentiates them from all other enemies from the game, and that is their signature laugh right before first confronting, then, after turning invisible, appearing again in front of Link. The laugh itself has a certain amount of creepiness to it. It's haunting to be in a graveyard setting to then have a laugh be heard from seemingly out of nowhere. I thought Midna was always a unique character, and while I could never really get into Twilight Princess, I can respect people who do. It is absolutely a unique atmosphere, and I applaud Nintendo for going this direction, after the art style choice that was Wind Waker. Midna is certainly to thank for enveloping the player in the game. She downright insults Link at the beginning, and will let out a few signature laughs that feel like burns to the player. Midna has a lot of really cool voice tracks, possibly more so than any other character in the series. Her laughing is no exception, and is easily memorable with the distinct echo effect that makes up her dialogue clips. Ganondorf's laugh at the end of The Wind Waker is notably longer than the rest, and for good reason. It is the laughter of true defeat, let out after the Triforce has been retaken from him by the King of Hyrule. Now that the wish has been made for Hyrule to flood completely, Ganondorf's plan of conquering is now over, and has nothing left to lose. This makes the final battle with Link more climactic for the player, because the player will now be worrying more about the fate of the main character. Next up, I have the Witch Sisters from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, Twin Rova and their Terminian counterpart, Koum and Kutake, I believe that's how they're pronounced. Their classic Halloween witch screech is one to be remembered, and a great choice of voice clips for these characters. Although they were evil in Ocarina of Time, and the laugh does sound a bit sinister, it still works for their characters in Majora's Mask, since they are still witches and do things that would be considered witchcraft in a normal setting. This includes flying around on brooms and brewing potions, a series staple since A Link to the Past. I don't feel any other voice clips would execute personality as accurately as this, whether they are depicted as good or bad. Fourth on my list is the Skull Kid. Not from its Twilight Princess incarnation, although I do like the creepiness of it, and not the laugh from the flashback or the end scene involving him in Majora's Mask, but the various laughs he lets out while wearing the demonic mask. I will never forget his taunting of Link, and the mix between childlike and sinister is something very unnerving. He truly thinks the acts of evil he's doing is funny, while under the influence of the mask's power, which is a far cry from the pranks he used to pull while a normal kid. This laugh shows just how prevalent the mask's power is, not only to give strength, but change morals and the mindset of its victim. Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time takes the number 3 spot on this list. The reason? I find it a bit humorous that the voice clip was used. It just sounds like an odd choice for the seriousness of his character. The laugh sounds silly, although it has been made iconic because of its use in one of the most beloved games of all time. Making it a bit more sinister, however, would add more intimidation to the fight. The fight itself and character design more than make up for this though, and the staircase leading up to him, as well as the ending with a creepy piano scene, made for an incredible and frightening moment in the game. The laugh did its job with dismaying players enough. It made for a good taunt that will have the player roaring to take him down. Number 2 is the unforgettable laughs of the Happy Mask Salesman from Majora's Mask. It's more like a giggle, and adds to the unnerving nature of this character because of the amount of times he's actually laughing. This is the first thing the player will hear when introduced to the character, not to mention it's followed by the line, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" Finally, this laugh adds to the mysteriousness of who the man truly is by being heard after the moon falls. It initiates a game over screen and the player being set back to the dawn of the first day. Creepy and unsettling describes this character's personality and laugh tracks perfectly. I could not give this top spot to any other laugh in the franchise. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link's game over screen is the greatest thing that my ears can handle. This is such an iconic 8-bit sound. I will never forget, and I'm sure a lot of other people won't either. It's a sound that will probably be heard multiple times throughout the average playthrough, and doesn't get old anytime it's heard. The soundbite enrages me as well as puts a smile on my face. There's a slight hilarity to it like Ganondorf's laugh from Ocarina of Time that makes it all the more enjoyable. The shadowed out figure of Ganon and the blood red screen are probably terrifying to a child though.